here I am. I feel closer to the screen today and closer to all of your hearts. Well, it's lovely to have you all back. Thank you so much. Now, we're getting very, very close. We're getting very, very close to 200 subs. And when I say we're getting close, we're 2 away. We're on 198 subs. But I want to get to 250. All right? So if you can find it in your hearts, if there's still a little bit of Christmas spirit around your house, just pick it up and pop it into that subscribe button. Give it a like. You can join the league there. Look, I've got a little subscribe button. There it is. Who's your captain? Click below, subscribe, like, leave a comment, positive or negative, doesn't matter. The algorithms love it nonetheless. Welcome back. Did you have a good game week 17? Isn't it nice FPL's back? Isn't it nice? Yeah, wasn't it nice when you read that Manchester City team sheet and Cancelo, wasn't it? Wasn't that nice? Even though he's played every single game up until now. You know, and he left the World Cup, I don't know, 4 weeks ago. It's nice, it's back, isn't it? Lovely, that warm feeling of Darwin Núñez having an XG of like 58 and him not scoring. Isn't it nice? It's back, yeah. I've missed that feeling. And do you know what? I've done all right. I got 99 points. That should be good. We should be happy with that. Do you know how much my Nemocris got, my main rival? 99 points. So that flatline feeling. Anyway, it's good to be back. But listen, it's a quick turnaround. I love this time of year. Christmas, it's turnaround after turnaround. We can't stop turning around. And I've got a brilliant guest, a returning guest, which is exciting. We're going to get stuck into his team and stuck into his thoughts. And we're going to find out all the relevant information that we need to find out. That's nice. See the little green screen to my... I can't work out right or left. That's a little... there you go. That's a little... pulling the curtain back. Yeah? What's the word I'm looking for? Just a little look behind the curtain of the studio, and all you can see is a little tiny crack to a bookcase which is full of mainly old PlayStation games. Okay, so we've got lots of things to talk about. We have a quick look at my team. Let's have a little look. No, that's not my team. That's the league standings. But we can have a quick little look at my team. Once I've introduced the guest. That's what I was going to do. Right, so, now, let me put a bit of music before I bring him on, okay? Right, 'cause he's a Scottish guy. He's a Scottish guy, right? And I want to do a little Scottish speech. He's a returning guest. Is a Scottish speech that I pulled out, and I love this speech. He goes like this. I have to pick a team that is rounded, so we can have a variation of attacks from everywhere, and we can defend as a group. It's not the be-all and end-all that you're scoring lots of goals. It's can we win and score lots of goals? That's the consideration. What is the most rounded team to have us attacking and getting goals from a lot of positions rather than one? I keep saying to the boys, I don't want us to be a one-dimensional team that only attacks one way. I don't get that. You're one-dimensional. Whatever way it is, if you stop, that's not a plan B. The strikers are different personalities. You pick the best personality and technique for that group that you've got around you. Huh? Let's welcome the one, the only, the brilliant Iain Stirling! Freedom! Yeah! Do you know what? Do you recognise that speech?
Is it a Billy Connolly one from something?
No, it's not Billy Connolly. It's Gordon Strachan before Scotland-Lithuania.
Oh,
well,
Can I be honest with you? I heard the accent as soon as Billy Connolly, and then I sort of tuned out and I was looking at effective ownership of players in my rank.
Oh, that's what you.
I was doing some research before the.
Good. I
podcast,
like the
prep. It's not a podcast, is it?
No, it's video format. But then a lot of people
a lot of people enjoy it as a sort of a podcast format.
They do. They pop it on in the car and listen to it in their ears.
I hope they do, because I've not showered.
No, that you've not. Nor have I. That's because we are dads.
Fathers.
How are you? Did you have a lovely Christmas?
Lovely Christmas, mate, actually. And it was nice being away from FPL, and I didn't really get into it until sort of a couple of days, a day before deadline, and it was like, it's mad how quickly it all comes flooding back, isn't it?
Yes, the deep misery and worry. Did you get a chance to watch much football? Because I know you went to Ireland, you're going to Scotland. Do you get a chance to watch the football, or do you have to do lots of family
Boxing
stuff?
Day was an absolute treat, man. I sat and got through the whole lot, the whole bloody lot. The Guinness never left my hand. The football never left my eyes. Fun, and again, that's the thing. It's the curse and the blessing of FPL, isn't it? Is games that you shouldn't give a damn about. All of a sudden, you're like,
Oh,
edge of your seat stuff.
they do. They mean everything.
Yeah, watching I get, but then also the downside is I'm watching Newcastle win, which is obviously putting my beloved Liverpool in turmoil. But I'm going,
Well,
it's an Almiron goal.
yeah, yes. Well, look. First of all, let's have a little look at. We're gonna have a little look at my team.
You did all right.
And I got 99 points. I am happy. Essentially, I am happy. And like, there's no one really that. The only one I'm a bit frustrated with is Darwin because he should have scored more.
Man of the match. Let us not forget.
Man of the match. Andy Townsend giving him man of the match. Well, what do you think? Do you think getting into positions is worthy of man of the match?
He wasn't man of the match in that Liverpool game. He's a number 9 that didn't score any goals.
Yeah.
So like he was not the man of the match. Now, did he put in what I like about him is did he put in an absolute shift? Yes. Did he get himself in a lot of positions? Yeah. As an FPL asset, if it wasn't, do you mean if you look at it again, it's that eye test versus stats, isn't it? As an FPL asset, you look at that, you think I'm getting him in next week.
Exactly.
What
Very good
would
point.
be a differential, right? Because if you'd be like, look, this guy's I've not looked at the stats, but his touches in the box and all that, and also don't forget he was done offside by a mosquito's bollock about 3 times as well. So like.
Yeah.
He could have easily had 3 or 4 in that game, and I'm genuinely not saying that as a biased Liverpool fan because we won the game. I don't really care about that. I just mean like genuinely, you look at that, you go, that guy, he's getting a hat trick sometime soon. Like you do genuinely think that to yourself, don't you? A bit of confidence.
I do like that as a point though. Is that if you were looking at him the week before and you were looking at a Liverpool player to bring in, you're like, that guy is about to
If he didn't play for Liverpool, he had the fixtures coming up and his ownership was down in like, do you know what I mean, like an 8%, 9%, every FPL content creator would be like, your differential, you want to go for it, is Darwin. And then, yeah.
So that was frustrating. Well, look, I had Darwin. So he was the only frustrating one, really. Like Cancelo not starting doesn't really bother me because so many people have got Cancelo.
Exactly. If anything, I'm just glad he came off the bench because I just didn't want people. The Cancelo thing was I just wanted him off the bench, even though I own him, because I thought I've got nothing on my bench. I didn't want anyone getting a cheeky, like, I don't know if someone had like Mitrovic sitting there,
which they did.
So that's why I was glad about that.
Yeah, definitely. So Cancelo. But I'm pleased with Kepa. I was sort of umming and ahhing. For anyone who watched the last video, I was umming and ahhing about any sort of Chelsea players because I really didn't back Chelsea, and then I bought in 2 of their defenders. But turns out it was the right thing to do with Kepa Arrizabalaga and James, which is another disappointment. Again, James isn't. Now look, we'll get to your team because you didn't go with James, but we'll get to your team. So then the rest I'm looking at: Salah, Martinelli, happy days. He's so good, Martinelli. If you sold him, you're an idiot. And I saw a lot of people that didn't keep with Martinelli. I think if you had your value tied up in him, it was a sort of a no-brainer to keep him. But I know people who didn't. Your FPL prasses of the world. Now Rashford was brilliant again. Almiron is again another no-brainer. Haaland, he's good. Darwin and then Martial, who actually could have had another one. So a really good score, 99 points. But the trouble is, everyone did so well. I did move me up the ranks, right? I'm now up to. Are you excited for this, Ian?
Oh, at the heady heights of, here we go.
1.4 million.
Oh, like and subscribe.
Yeah, for excellent advice. But I've gone up 500,000 places, so I should be happy with that. But I feel the sense of I feel that Alan Partridge gif.
I think as well. Do you notice as well? High scoring game weeks, I outscored one of my nearest rivals by about 9 points. But when you get up into the high numbers, that looks so less. If it was like if it was a low-scoring game week and I'd got myself 51 and my nearest rival was sitting on 40, I'd be over the moon. But 100 and odd to like a 90 odd weirdly doesn't feel as good.
Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't. But look. Listen, I've got to be happy with 99. I can't be annoyed at that. The annoying thing is, if Cancelo hadn't have come on, I'd have got 100. But never mind. Let's not split mosquitoes bollocks. So I'm happy with that. Happy with the bench as well. White and Andreas on the bench, fine. We're looking good. Also, if you want to join the league, you can see the code below there, XFAJ7V. Now, Ian, let us have a little look at your team.
Yes,
now,
please.
you can talk us through this. You got a massive score.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it? Can you do it in the dance announcement voice? You know, the 180.
I got 102.
Very nice.
No, they go down on lower scores.
Yeah, they do.
102.
Yeah.
That's a very good impressionist observation I just made.
Very good. Yes, I love it.
102.
Do you want to know something interesting about the darts? Right.
Yeah,
when when the dart gets thrown and it hits the board and you hear that sound, right? That's not the sound of the dart hitting the board. That is a noise they put in.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little drum. It's a little drum.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's true. But hey,
I think it's a dart going into the board, mate. Because
Greg James told me it wasn't that.
Well, tell Greg James, how do they cancel out the sound of a dart hitting the dartboard?
So maybe they play both.
They've got technology that takes out that sound, and then they put in another sound instead.
They'd have to get it. You'd have to really get it at the right time. I wonder if it's just one guy on a drum.
I wonder how many people have stopped listening to this FPL video
No. They go to FPL, The Wire. They go to a Black Box for that kind of stuff.
Green Arrow.
They go to the Green Arrow. They go and watch FPL Harry or FPL Raptor. They come to this.
FPL Andy.
Yeah, they go to Yelena. This is more your sort of chilled out couple of guys
who do know what they're talking about, though.
Who do know what they're talking about, because we're both, well, one is 1.4 million and you are?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know.
I was
I'm not sure.
I don't know, we've just very quickly, a bit of context. I was 250k. And then,
I was first at the beginning of the season.
I was 250k, and then Luke, as I'm sure a few of you are here for that reason, got the inside scoop on the City team.
Oh well,
and I dropped from 250k to 1.1 million after not playing Haaland and captaining Cancelo instead, who got a red card.
Is that what did Haaland then come on and score? Is that what happened?
He did. Yep.
Did he?
Yep. Yes, he did. Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, talk us through your score. You got 104.
102.
102.
Yeah, so Kepa in goal. I will always call him Kepa. I refuse to use his
can't say it, can you?
European name. No.
Okay.
Cancelo, again, everyone's got him 1 point. Glad he came off the bench. So Trippier, got to have him really. Robertson. Interesting differential we discussed over WhatsApp.
Yes, no. Stay on Robertson. Now, look, you went with Robertson. I tell you what, mate. The reason I can't bring in Robertson is because how much he burnt me at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. And it's mad to think. I remember all the content creators, and I'm not just content creators. I mean, like, and myself and you discussing like how.
Well, I'm a content creator, mate.
How screwed the game was, though, because of how affordable defenders were. I think I might have had Robertson and Trent, and Trippier and Cancelo, and then like a 5 million cent. Like I went
big at the back,
big at the old back. It was an absolute bloody disaster.
But you kept with Robertson, and you were rewarded.
I did. Well, it was Robertson or James. Obviously, a few players would have to move for budgetary reasons. I felt like James. Everyone was going to have him. I was outside the top million. If I'm being honest, there was the informed FPL player in me thought, I like when Robertson plays with Darwin out left, which is what it looked like was going to happen.
Okay, this is nice. This is what people have come
because Darwin. I watched a lot of Liverpool, and Darwin obviously cuts inside. To use the FIFA tactics, it would cut inside and get in behind. So Darwin cuts inside and tries to get off the shoulder of the centre back, which means Robertson overlaps. And Robertson, I mean, like, bloody, his touches in the box, again, I've not got the stats, but maybe look him up. It must be, it's mad. So he really gets up ahead of Darwin. Darwin cuts inside. So Robertson's feeding in from the left to Robertson and Salah and all the rest of it. Well, and then and when the ball comes in from the right-hand side, he's in the box a lot of the time. So I thought he'd get some points. And also, I genuinely was worried. And I've got this on WhatsApp to you, so I'm not lying. I just said Reece James is made of crisps, and I was convinced. I thought he wouldn't start. I didn't think he'd come off injured, but didn't think he was going to start.
Well, Potter released the information minutes after the deadline that his minutes were going to be managed.
Yeah, well, and I think he's actually picked up an injury as well, isn't it? I think he's
out for 4 weeks. Which with the amount of games he's missing the rest of the season.
Yeah. So, but that's always going to happen. So yeah. So I went for. I should again. I'll get better at this as more we do these. But this whole team was basically I went for 90-minute men.
Yes.
That was my idea with this mad fixtures. So that was Robertson, and you know, I was going to say I got lucky with Robertson, but I didn't really. I thought he was really excellent. The clean sheet would have been lovely. I mean, it's where I was lucky is we could have conceded 2 or 3, probably still won the game, but I think that would have probably wiped his 3 bonus points as well, and he would have got a -1. So I could have been on like a 4 for Robertson, I reckon, if Liverpool had conceded again. So that is a slight worry. Into the old midfield, Almiron, who is brilliant, and again I've only got him because Reece James up to Robertson. I needed an enabler. Almiron was my enabler. Really lucky. Martinelli, loads of value locked up in him. Got me the 8 points. Salah, you got to have Salah. Nearly captained him. Glad I didn't.
You always were at Salah over KDB, weren't you?
Always. Never went to KDB at any point. No. I mean, Jesus, we'll get on to KDB, I suppose, but last night, that is probably... I've had a very lucky game week, and KDB getting no points is probably the luckiest.
My argument to that is Darwin should have had a bucket. He could have had 20 points.
Yeah, I suppose the difference is Darwin missed sitters, whereas KDB done everything right, and it just didn't quite happen for him.
And the assist to the assister, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if Grealish was... Anyway, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Mason Mount, who was I was talked into by the content creator who's your captain, who then didn't pick him.
Yeah, that's what I do, mate. That's what I do. Tell other people.
Martial on 6, again, just needed an affordable striker. I was worried about Mitrovic's minutes. Haaland, everyone's got him. Darwin, we've already discussed it length. The only slightly annoying thing about this team was 5 minutes before the deadline, I went Rashford and Wilson out for Mount and Martial. Then when Martial and Mount got when Mount got that big return, I thought, I've absolutely crushed it here.
That's good. You look at that over 2 weeks, because Wilson's probably not going to play the next game either.
Yes, but
because for those of you who haven't seen, Wilson's ill again. He's had the longest cold ever. He's got long cold.
I think it was said on one of the official Premier League podcasts as well, that with an illness like that, it might take a few weeks for him to get back to his full immune system and all that sort of stuff as well.
But he went to the World Cup. He was ill before the World Cup, and then he's like a kid at nursery. He's just got something. That's a very specific reference to people who have kids at nurseries.
You know, if any dad's watching this or any mum's watching this, that feeling when you're getting your kid's shoes off and put them into nursery, and then some prick next to you brings their kid who's like, brilliant. Well, I've got that this weekend. You fucking sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah.
It's too late now because you've said bollock twice, and now you've said
demonetized. You're demonetized.
Yeah, great. Well, I wasn't making any money yet. My God, you wait till you see the house I'm going to build one day.
It is slightly frustrating because even though Wilson didn't start, it means I would have got Andreas off the bench, so it didn't actually make me any points really. Mount and Martial to and actually again it shows you it's over 2 weeks. Yes, I'd prefer Mount over Rashford, but now I don't really know how I feel about Martial going forward.
Okay, well, look, we'll get into that. We're going to get into that. So, look I want a little quick look at the league standings, okay, because we've still got Jared Keatsman, who's on top. He got 105 this week, stretching his lead out. Dross Barkley, Scott Rooney, he got 84 points. Again, not a very good score this week. And then Adam Wolf is doing very well. He got 104 points. And then we've got Unorthodox FPL, 103. Chris Thatcher, who's my Chris, he's got 99 points, stays in 5th. Nuno Faraya stays in 6th. Nadia, who this seems to be a new one, who's jumped up to 7th, who's got the Cheeky Sancho. Oh, no, he was in the top 10 last week. Cheeky Sancho's, he got 99 as well. Gareth Strain, who's still doing very well. The Irish guy, he's on 93 points. He got he's on the 1027. 9th, Eric Seven ends, Darwin versus Jesus. He got 89 points. And then in 10th place, which is a new entry into the top 10 with Stiff Ericsson. Michael
lovely.
Sharp. He got 104 and he is now into the top 10. So well done. If you want to join the league, there is the code. And you never know.
Getting very competitive, your league.
Yeah, maybe got about, hang on, I can tell you how many we've got in the league. We have got in the league, just holding the attention of the viewer while I look for it. We have got now, hang on, 61 people in the league.
Oh, that's lovely.
Come
nice
on.
Remember that. Let's get that up to 100, shall we?
Let's get that up to 100. I was going to say 75, but 100's fine. Great. So that's the league. That's the league standings. Do enter the league. Now, what I'm going to go to here is the fixture difficulty rating. And I got this from FPL Tips _ on Instagram. Very good account.
That, actually. Let me get that up because you sent me that.
I've sent you that. Now, I want to look at this going forward, right? Because I think it's very easy to sort of say the obvious players. When you look at our teams, we've got a lot of obvious players. And the thing is, this season is I think people are more in the know than they ever have been. Mm-hmm. But I just want to look at these fixtures going forward and any potential differentials that you could be looking at to get yourself up the ranks. Okay? Because the differentials I want to talk about are Raheem Sterling, Jack Grealish, Martial, Mason Mount, Havertz, and Nketiah. Now, all of these guys, Mason Mount's a little bit more highly owned, and Martial's just above 5%. All the rest of these guys are below 5% and are all doing very well.
And and you've got to think with someone like Mason Mount, the value, especially the double game,
7.5.
The money you could he could be up to 8 million by the time that double game week rolls, or maybe not 8, but not far off it by the time that double game.
Well, if we look at Mount, Chelsea have got the second best fixtures going forward. Nottingham Forest away next, buckets of goals. Then they've got their double. So Man City at home and then Fulham away, then Crystal Palace at home. So the next 4 games, 3 game weeks, are looking really good. Is anyone? So is Mount? You would say someone you really, really would be looking at bringing in. I think the difficult thing is there's so many good midfielders, aren't there?
Yeah, well, I've got Mount obviously, and I'm really happy that I do now. I was really worried about this week. I'm fully aware I got lucky with Mount. It was a shot outside the box. I feel like
he looked good though.
Yeah, he did look good, but again, he sort of feels a bit. It feels like he's supplying the guy. He's assisting the assister. It looked like when I was watching the Chelsea game, like there was a lot of Pulisic and Ziyech and all that going on beyond him. He's putting them through, and then there's little cross.
I would just like to point out as well that I don't have all that sort of his XGs because I've not all the other content creators haven't made their videos yet, so I haven't been able to watch those and regurgitate it as my own opinion. Yeah. So if you
feel that. It does
it's
feel
lacking
like
that a bit.
It does feel like he's sitting at like an 8 or a 10.
Yeah.
Not really getting his forward. But then again, he's got such good fixtures coming up, and at 7.5, it feels like a real option. And again, more importantly, Mount's probably first on the team sheet.
Yeah, Potter loves him.
Which is a massive game changer.
Potter loves him. What about mate? What about Raheem Sterling?
I would really. He's like
expensive.
Him. The only problem with him is his price, because there's just so many great players at that price at the minute, isn't there? That's the sort of main issue. I would rather have Havertz over Sterling probably.
Let me just have a little look at his price.
9.5.
Oh, Ian's going in with a 9.5. He's 9.7.
Oh, he's gone up. Bye-bye.
9.7. I think he's come down. I think he was 10.
He was 10 originally.
So, yeah, 9.7. Yeah, it's expensive for those midfielder spots. I think that is against him. Agreed on that. And Havertz,
even with the fixtures, as things stand, I think I'd still rather Darwin over him.
Now, Havertz 7.7 up front.
That's Havertz. I'm focusing with a laser-like attention. That's how I want. I've got nothing in my bank, but that's who I want to get to.
Because looking at the doubles in that week, right? You have got it's only Chelsea who've got the double that week.
I wouldn't even count that Fulham double as a double, really. Maybe apart from maybe a Mitrovic.
Well, yeah. And Andreas. I think the thing is with Andreas, he's 4.6, and he's just such a good enabler.
You're not bringing Andreas in. Yes, if he's sitting on your bench, you're super sub, you play him. But you're not bringing in. You're not using a transfer to.
Okay, well,
Andreas
on that then.
So are you?
No, I wouldn't be bringing him in this week. Okay, right. It's really difficult because I've already done my move this week, right? I've sold Martial and I've bought Mitrovic in. Well, you say it's silly, Ian. All right, I'll tell you why it's not silly, right? Because Martial has got Wolves away, which I don't think is as easy a fixture anymore because of Lopetegui's coming. And
what a name, by the way.
What a name and what a pronunciation of it. Brilliant. But Fulham have got Southampton at home. Southampton are awful. Right, I think they're going to go down. And then Leicester away, I think there's goals there for them. Chelsea at home, I think there's goals there for them. Fulham score against everyone. So I think bringing in Mitrovic for the double is correct. I would have had him in from the start, but Silva said he was injured. Brilliant.
I worry, Mike, and I'm not going to stand by this. I might change. I have a position that you might, if you didn't have Mitrovic this week, the ship might have sailed for the next few weeks.
What do you mean?
Because
you think he's gonna get nothing?
Because he's got Southampton next week. Obviously, you want him for that. What a fixture! Yes, please, at home as well.
Okay.
But he's got this yellow card thing. He picks up another yellow card. He gets it the 4 or 5 yellows. He misses a game.
Fine, but he seems to not get that yellow though. And also, strikers do rarely get yellows.
Yes, but he's managed to get 4 so far.
Well, no, but he hasn't got one. He hasn't had one for 6-7 weeks.
But he's still sitting on 4, is what I'm saying. And then you've got
15 points.
You've got the Leicester game, which is in the double. But then if you don't look at it as a double, he's got Leicester. He's then got Chelsea, Newcastle away, Tottenham, and then Chelsea. That is a tough run of fixtures.
Well, I think Fulham Chelsea is always goals because that's their big sort of that silly little West London derby. So I think that
Posh Boys FC.
Yeah, the Sloane Square derby. But I think.
The
so
Leicester
I don't.
Square of Derby.
I think you can. I think there will be goals in that. Yeah, Newcastle away. It's a fair point that after that, but also he's quite easy to move to an Nketiah or a Martial after that. So I think if you're going to bring him in, and you're going, well, I'm going to save him for the double, then I do agree that the ship has
Arsenal's,
sailed.
and also who else is in his price range? Nketiah's fixtures are no easier than
Nketiah, Martial. Yeah, and if you've got a bit of budget to get up to a Havertz. Yeah. So I think Mitrovic, I'm happy with that move. And I think it's a better move to make this week than it is to ignore the Southampton home game. What I would like to remind people as well is that this video has come out today. The deadline is tomorrow, which is the 30th. And the first fixture, I've got these fixtures up here.
When you say the videos come out today, I think you should say the videos come out today and then say the day.
Oh, yeah.
The videos come out today.
But no one knows what day it is. It's the 29th. Do you know what the day is?
No, of course it's between Christmas and New Year.
What is the day?
Wild.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Oh my, right. Podcast. It's podcast day today for me.
Well, you're welcome to promote it. No, right. The 7:45 is the first kickoff. So what's that? 6:15 is your deadline. Okay. So let's look back. We're going back to the fixture difficulty rating. Now, one of the other differentials I've suggested here is Grealish. Now, you watched last night's game, didn't you?
Yes.
What are you thinking on Grealish? Because, look, they've got a double coming up. Is Man United away and Tottenham at home. It's not an easy double. And Man City got Everton at home. Now, I think they're going to win that 5-0. Would you want Grealish in there? Or is your worry that Foden... I'll let you talk. What do you think?
Well, I think it's the same thing that it's the same worries that everyone's got. Minutes risk.
Yeah.
He was, again, it's same as Darwin. He was great. So this is my logic.
It's pet roulette.
My thing with Grealish is, because I don't want to sound biased, but I'm saying, with that many chances, Darwin's going to bang. And I'm basing that on the fact that there's basically, short of an injury, there's no way Darwin isn't starting for Liverpool just because we've not got the players at the minute.
Gakpo?
Yeah, I don't really... But then Gakpo I think they'll play Gakpo for them. I don't know what they'll do with Gakpo. Why have we not got... Why play him at centre mid? We need a centre mid. Anyway, he'll probably... I don't know what they'll do with him, but either way, Darwin will play left or through the middle. Either way. I actually prefer him out left, but that's personal preference. He plays every game, so when you're getting that level of XG, those chances, that many touches in the box, now you play every 90 minutes, lovely. Grealish is doing that, but getting every other game, coming on late in the day. And, I still prefer a City team with... Well, I don't personally, but from an FPL point of view, I prefer a City team with Foden in it.
Yeah. They're better with Foden in the team.
I don't think Grealish done enough to justify another start.
I tell you what, though, like Ali McCoy, they were really raving about him at the end. They were saying it was really good to see the more sort of Aston Villa Jack Grealish, and he created a lot of chances. I know he was a bit unlucky, he had a couple of good chances he should have put away, but I think he played well. Whether that, it's Pep. None of us can predict Pep. But I think for his price, and he is, I think
he's 7.5.
I think he's less.
He's probably gone down, but he was
6.8. I think he started at 7.
He must have started at 7. I must have got that wrong.
So 6.8. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I think one of the biggest questions.
I don't know his price. If you've got a space at that price range, even with these, I think 6.8 is good. Even if he's getting
20 minutes.
Getting 90 minutes every 2 games, I think that's still probably worth the price.
What about, okay, right, so we all need City players, right? You want 3 City players for the double.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gone on about Mitrovic. You probably want, if you're going to have your City players for the double, you want it for that Everton home game coming up. But I just think it's too difficult to predict who the team is. But obviously Haaland, who else do you want to have with Haaland as your City players?
Well, again, I'm a 90-minute man. So although he didn't start, I think you still want Cancelo. I think that's got.
So that's not worried you that he didn't play.
I think if anything, it's probably a reassurance that he plays next game, right? And I think
yeah.
I think they just look so much better with him in the team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it makes any difference. They're still batting people for fun, but I think Cancelo. And then actually, now that this is why it's great doing these sort of things for a punt for that double game week. If Grealish stays below 7, then there's so many players that everyone's got on their team that you can move on to Grealish for that one, even if it's for the 1 week.
Yeah.
But then again, what City midfielders playing 70 minutes plus back to back on a double game week?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I mean, even if you're looking at just affordable, Gundogan's always in good positions. I wouldn't say he's not a put in your team and forget about it, but for that double game week,
he's not where he was, and he is a bit more.
No, he's definitely playing deeper, but he's still getting up the park.
Yeah.
Maybe Grealish for your third man, if it is like an in and out, maybe Grealish is the move.
And also, like, all these players that I'm talking about here are players that are low owned. So that's why, look, it's not easy to go, oh yeah, definitely, because that's the reason they're low owned, is because there is a bit of risk to them. So the next player I want to talk about is Martial. Well, actually, just sticking on that City thing, would you? Because I know some people went with the Edison in goal, but I think if you've not done that now, you're not going to. It's very hard to move to Edison.
I think I'd genuinely still be thinking about it if it wasn't for the fact that Kepa done such a good job in goal, and the main thing for me is you can see that they're playing it from the back, and Kepa's really good with the ball at his feet. Yeah. So they just, unless
and he made good saves as well. Like,
I don't know what happened. He just had that couple of seasons where his hands fell off. I don't really know what went on.
Yeah.
And then never forget that penalty shootout.
Oh, what? When he with Sarr when he moaned. And then did they win it? No, yeah, they did win it. Didn't
Liverpool won it. Kepa missed the pen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, right. Well, okay. Now, one of the other differentials, Martial, who I've just sold. But looking at Man United's fixtures, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, City at home, Arsenal away. Would you be looking at bringing in Martial?
Well, I've got him. So
others would.
He's definitely a hold, isn't he? And I think for bringing him in, I didn't watch enough of the game, and we probably need to wait for press conferences and stuff. But
Ten Hag said he came off early.
Ten Hag saying he was wanting to monitor his minutes. Is that what?
Well, he said he came off. He said he's completely fit. He said he came off early because the Everton game, the Wolves away game is in 2 days' time. So he didn't say he was injured.
Which would suggest he wants 90 minutes out of him for that.
Yeah. Well, it
or
is
at least
a start.
Until the win's in the bag.
Yeah, it's a start.
Yeah, I think you've really got the problem with Martial really is. It's not so much do you want them for the money. I think it's a no-brainer at the money. I think the problem is he making it into your top 3 strikers you want?
About to say, who are the best 3 strikers for FPL at the moment?
I genuinely think for FPL, like everything, all things to one side, for me personally, I would have Haaland, Mitrovic, Martial.
Okay, then what about Kane?
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about Kane. But then I think for his price, I'd rather Kane. But then that's taken into because for Kane, I'd rather have Salah than De Bruyne than Kane for that
Really?
price.
With
Yeah.
Kane, he's got a Villa at home next, Palace away, and then a double, which is Arsenal at home. He always scores against Arsenal, and then Man City away, and he always scores against Man City.
I think the Spurs double's interesting though, isn't it? Because they've got Arsenal then City, two massive games, and with points dropped there, they've got United and Liverpool breathing down their neck for Champions League, and to play your biggest rivals and then away to City in the same week, and they've not got the deepest squad in the world, do they? So
Kane plays 90 minutes, every
Oh
week.
yeah, no, Kane will play, but it's like will they be able to do it? And again, Spurs. Have they got the mental fortitude for it? Really, that's where these are the sort of weeks where some
lovely
teams
use of the word fortitude.
Thank you.
Didn't expect
some teams
that from
show
you.
up and some teams crumble, don't they? And it feels like this is where Spurs crumble. Now, does that mean they will? Absolutely not. Son and Kane can do crazy things, but I'd love Kane for that double. Don't get me wrong, but
So would I.
But then do I?
It's the price thing.
Even as a Spurs fan, do you trust Spurs knowing that you've got United and Liverpool a handful of points behind you for the Champions League places, and you've got to get at least 4 points? Do you reckon against Arsenal City?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're up the creek.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think 2 points. I think they could be happy with 2 points, to be honest.
See, because as a Liverpool fan this season, I'm looking at those two games. I think. Yes, we'll rise to the occasion, and then I'll look at the Fulham away the next week, and I think, well, there you go.
Yeah,
there's where it all goes wrong.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
mad
mean?
that they've got City.
I know, and then City again.
And then City again. Someone else has as well. Someone I can't see that. Okay, good. I do think the Kane thing is so difficult. He's got points every week, but he's not getting those big double-digit hauls as much as he's scoring every week. But then when he plays is Wilson, so is. Nketiah. Nketiah has scored 11 goals and 11 starts at home. Like, he scores goals. I think he was staring us in the face.
I same thing. Me and you, I didn't really talk to you about.
Well, for me, it's
really
win-win, and
briefly.
I shouldn't play it like this. But for me, it's like, well, if he scores, I'm an Arsenal fan, so it's great. So that's why I can go elsewhere. But I don't know. Arsenal have got a double coming up in
I always
few
do
weeks'
that though.
time.
I always bottle the teams I support because I'm like, well, they win. But then, can I just say, I went for the gamble, and when it works out,
oh, I know.
Robertson assist,
Yeah.
Salah goal, Liverpool take the lead.
And
I'm
also,
like,
mate,
there's no better feeling in the world.
I'm a season ticket holder, right? So the guy, my rival, Nemachris, right? He's got an Nketiah. So I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm at the game. And he scores, and I go, yes! Ah, shit! So it's like,
Yes!
it actually does
typical.
ruin it. And also,
the
bloke that sits 2 across from me is a massive fantasy football player. So like, we always celebrate and then go, oh, I haven't got him! Or like, oh, that's 2 bonus! And it's very good fun. Or like, even we cheer extra saves as well.
Of course, yeah.
It's so much fun. Must find out his name. Okay, so that's that. We've looked at that. Now I want to look at this week's fixtures.
Can I just say one thing at the fixture difficulty fixture rating that I don't know if anyone else's, but I was looking at this, and I thought I saw Brighton all the way down there, and can I just say, I actually really like the look of Brighton's fixtures. As in, not this Arsenal at home this week. No, thank you.
Mate, I think that's for Arsenal. I think it's a very tough fixture.
I can still see them scoring, Brighton, but then they've got Everton away. They should win that easy. Liverpool at home again. Liverpool, they're conceding 2.
Well, they've also got
again.
This possible double that could drop in, Brighton.
And the possible double. Then they've got Leicester who are having a shocker. Bournemouth who can't defend. Crystal Palace who aren't playing particularly well. And Fulham, like. I'm amazed. I think it's the Arsenal game. I like March as if you want to go really differential
because he's having a good season. He scored a belter of a goal, but is he not a guy that does that and then doesn't do anything for 4 weeks?
Possibly, but then we need to look. This is why we need to do a deeper dive and look into things.
Well, I'm going to look at his
touches and all that. But like, he looked great. He gets on the park and he's playing higher up the park than I've ever seen him play before. But he's only He's only 5 million, 5.5 or something.
Trossard, obviously, but he is 24% owned. But let's just go down. I'm keeping going down. Where's March? McAllister when he comes back. What a World
McAllister
Cup
could be
he
a shot. I just think don't sleep on Brighton because I think those
Okay.
fixtures. I think I
March.
think that I'd say that
0.6%
fixture,
owned.
that fixture ticker's screwed is a bit skewed. I think for that.
Well, I
just
do
that's a
think these
really long
fixture
game.
tickers as well, like they don't obviously take into consideration when teams are back in form, or even the fact that like I don't think even Arsenal are considered a deep red for some teams.
Yeah, and I'm guessing as well, City wouldn't be top if they didn't have two doubles. I'm guessing because City's games are not easy either.
Yeah,
They've got United, Spurs twice, and
we've got to work out.
Arsenal. They've got you, haven't they? Soon.
Yeah,
What
we're
a
in their
game that'll
double.
be. What a game that'll be.
Well,
Oh
let's
my
hope we're
God.
not sixth by that point. Well, I certainly hope we're not.
Look
sixth
at the
by
bright
that
side. At
point.
least every team in the top six isn't winning every game by about 4 goals at the minute. Jesus.
Yeah, well, Man City. Yeah, I think the biggest thing we need to work out is who else to have in alongside Haaland.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
I do honestly think that's what your two strikers are the bit. That's what will make and break you. I think my worry for my game week coming up is if Darwin does the same thing again and misses a bunch of chances, and Martial only makes like 40 minutes, I could be on a massive red arrow this week.
I think Darwin's going to bag. I think he's going to bag this week.
He will. He will, and as we all know, he will. And the minute I take him out my team, I'll let you all know, and that'll be the week. 'Cause that's how.
Well, that's the
how
thing.
it works.
I've bought in Mitrovic this week, so do you know who's getting a yellow card in the first 5 minutes of the next game?
Of course.
Right now, look, I've already had you for 40 minutes. Now, look, I just want to talk about the fixtures coming up this week and get your predictions. Right, I'm going to go with my prediction first, and then I'll hand it over to you. So the first
Lovely
game.
stuff.
Now, remember, you're at 6:15 for your deadline on Friday, which is tomorrow. So West Ham versus Brentford. I watched Arsenal West Ham, and they're not good.
They're very not good.
So I'm going to go with, and if Tony's still playing, surely Tony.
What I thought he was arrested. What the?
Well, they reckon they've got over 200 counts of him betting.
I remember this happened to Daniel Sturridge when he was at Liverpool and he got like a 9-week ban.
Yeah,
or
and
something.
Trippier got a ban because he told his mates that he was going to Atletico Madrid or something like that, and they all bet on it. But surely they must think he's going to be all right, because why would they still be playing him? Surely,
They're still playing him because they've got no other choice.
But if he's going to get
Wemo up on his own.
But if he's going to get banned, he's going to get banned forever.
No, he'll get it's football, isn't it? Money.
But there's
talks,
200 allegations.
Yeah. But then that's all blown out of proportion. 200, like that'll be like. Do you know what I mean? That's like. Also, it's just, a lot of them I think is him betting on football. Like he's just.
Why is he doing that?
Probably a gambling. I mean, like I don't know.
Don't know.
But like, as in, like, and I mean this in a genuinely worrying way. Like, sounds like the sort of thing like a gambling addict would do.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
Now that is not.
You're not
confirmed,
saying
that's a
we don't
personal
know.
opinion.
It's not libelous because we don't know that. He's
But I mean, a
gambling.
lot of those charges will just be like he bet on a championship game. Do you know what I
Right,
mean? Like he
yeah,
had it
yeah.
on an accumulator or whatever. Obviously, we're talking big money because the guy's minty.
And also, we don't know.
We don't know. But what I mean is, I very much doubt he's saying, "Look, I'll give away a throw in the 80th."
Oh
minute.
yeah.
It's literally he's just bet on games he's not meant to because he wants to bet. Is what it sounds like to me, or like told his mate that Haaland's bench so they can captain Cancelo in the fantasy, that sort of thing.
Good. It'd be good if you had pals like that would help you out. So I think, look, Tony's still going to be playing. I reckon West Ham 1, Brentford 2.
I thought so. I was saying 2-1 Brentford as well. I should write this down so it doesn't look like I'm copying you because I feel like we're.
All right, you write yours down.
On what though?
Paper.
I'll just write it down on a bit of paper just so it's.
You write those down.
I've got it.
As I'll talk through the next one and then you write this down. Now Liverpool at home to Leicester. I do worry about Liverpool defensively, but I think this is going to be a big score for Liverpool actually, because Leicester look really bad. So
wait, I'm just changing one number because I'm worried you're gonna. I'm changing one number. I'm just worried you're going to say, and it looks like I've changed it, but I'm just changing it.
Okay. Right. So you're going to do this as okay. So I'm going to go for Liverpool 4, Leicester 0.
I went for 4-2, but I changed to the
4-2.
4. That's why I think Liverpool. I honestly think it'll go like 3-1. Leicester will probably get a second. It'll be panic stations, and then we'll get 4-2. I just think. I love Liverpool. We're so great, but we just look really vulnerable at the back at the minute, and teams have learned how to play against our high line. And like Villa are not good, and they should have scored 3 minimum.
Right, yeah. And Leicester have got, your Barnes. Vardy's probably going to start.
Yeah.
Maddison, I still don't think will be fit. Okay. So you went 4-2. I'm going 4-0. I think you're probably right there. Okay, next one. Wolves versus Man United. I liked what I saw of Wolves when they were playing away at Everton, even though I think Everton are very bad. And I think Man United are a lot better. So I do think Man United will win, but I'm going to go for 2-1 United on this. What do you think? I'm
going to go for 1-0 Wolves. I think Wolves
Love
look great
to see
at the back. Wolves look great at the back. I think a lot of will depend on Martial and Rashford. I think it's also a bit of cynicism because I own Martial. I can just see United are in that same sort of
I've sold
stage
him, mate. He's scoring a hat-trick.
Oh, probably. I mean,
Bet on
Rashford,
that.
who knows? Rashford.
Someone tell Ivan Toney to put money on that.
Yeah, Ivan. I'll phone up Ivan and that's what the score is going to be.
Exactly. Okay, next one. Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. Difficult one, this. I think it's going to be quite high scoring, actually. I'm going to go for a little Desmond 2-2. 2-2.
I've gone for a little Desmond 1-1.
Oh, right, okay. You've gone for a Desmond 1-1. Yeah, I think it's a shame with Crystal Palace because I think I saw some people with Zaha in their team.
Never. I'd like to go on record. Never again.
Yeah, never again for me as well. I'm trying to sell him in mid-draft. But I think I'm going to go with 2-2 on that. I do think it'd be quite high scoring because I don't think either have got a particularly good defence. I mean, Palace obviously playing at home to Fulham. They went down to 9 men. I think that is another point on Mitrovic. He got most of his points. Palace were down to 9 men. But I just think back on Mitrovic, the Southampton at home, which is the next game we're going to. What a segue. Didn't even mean that. I just think that this Mitrovic, if he's clearly fit, so I think this is the game that he's more guaranteed to get points than he was away to Palace. So on this one, I'm going to go for Fulham 3, Southampton 0.
I'm going to go for 2-1, just because I can't see Fulham keeping a clean sheet.
I just don't think who's scoring from Southampton.
I know, this is the thing. Ward-Prowse or something maybe.
Ward-Prowse, if he gets a pen.
Yeah, well, who knows, though, but they always seem to find a way. And the thing about Fulham is, like, I could see them winning 3-4, but they don't seem to finish teams off. Do you know what I mean? They seem to do what they need to do, and then that's that.
I feel very confident on Fulham this year. They're having a banging season.
They look great. They're fun to watch as well, man.
And they score a lot of goals, as they were doing in the Championship last year. So, I'm just looking back at it. I know they had a couple of tough games where they lost to United and lost to Man City. And then were 0-0 at Everton. Terrible result. That was ages ago, though. Come on. Then they scored 3 against Leeds. Yeah, I'm going for 3-0. Okay, Man City, Everton. Easy. 5-0 Man City.
I went 4-0. I think it's going to be an absolute blood. I think it could...
Captain Haaland?
Could be new manager for Everton as well, I think, after that game. I really do think. I think it could be...
Fat Frank.
It feels like that's the way it's going, doesn't it? Massive, absolute hammering off City. Frank's booed off the pitch. They get Allardyce, or you can see it happening, can't you? You can see it happening, though, can't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think, Matt. Yeah, I'm going big win, Man City 5-0. Captain Haaland.
I think it's making. This is the thing I always find as well. You do all this chat on FPL about the players individually and stats and all that, and then when you never just look at the games and do a breakdown. I'm now thinking City 4-5-0, 3-4-5-0 against Everton, and double game weeks coming up. And I'm thinking, why haven't I going for a third City player?
I know. I was thinking that as we were looking at the fixture difficulty rating. But then it's hard. It's just hard to pick.
Yeah, especially like you said, maybe Grealish is anyway. Let's not go back into that. But I just think maybe triple City is the way.
You have to have triple City. 2 double game weeks.
Why does Alvarez not play every week? He got a fucking World Cup. It's
insane. I know. Okay, Newcastle Leeds. I'm going to go for a Newcastle win, obviously, and I think it'll be 3-0.
Oh, now I'd love to go back through these with you at some point because this is the one. I think this could be the best. I've got a feeling this might be the best game of the week.
Wow. Okay.
Leeds in that second half looked good, and they can go at teams and look.
Mm-hmm.
They've just, I mean, bloody hell, their centre backs
strike.
I mean, I hate to say it because fellow Scott and all that, but Cooper, I've never seen a player look more out of their depth in the mind. It was wild.
Not since you in Soccer Aid.
I mean, fair play, I'll take it though. He's still a good football player. He's just not against Haaland.
Yeah.
I'm going. So I think Leeds need points badly. They can show up. Pressure's on Newcastle. I'm going to say 2-2.
Oh, I'd love that result.
I know. And it's not, do you know what I mean? I can see it. I think Newcastle score first. I think Newcastle might even score second. But I just think Leeds, man, when they get the bit
going, between the teeth.
And I love that Geldhart, man. When he just young, no fear.
Yeah.
Getting
Bright,
about.
Blue eyes.
Was it Geldhart? Boy. I think Geldhart missed a
he did.
sitter in the 80th minute as well.
Yeah, they could have made it 3-2. Yeah, all right. Okay, well, we'll see. Brighton, Arsenal. Now, I'm going to go for... Oh, I don't know. It's tough. And the old, in years gone by, I would not have predicted an Arsenal win here because we always struggle at Brighton. But I think we're so good and the momentum is really with us. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Do you want me to show my working?
Show my work. Show your workings.
I've also gone for 2-1.
Okay.
It looks like 5, but it's not. It's 2-1.
No. 2-1. Yeah. It's 2-1 on here. Okay. Yeah. 2-1. Good. We both gone for 2-1. Spurs Villa. I'm going to go for. Well, obviously, if Ivan Toney's watching, bet on Villa to score first and Spurs to win. But I would go with. Martinez will be back because he was back. He was already with the squad before their last game. I think Spurs will win at home 3-2.
My score's not controversial. Well, not that controversial, but I think Spurs score first, and that's just game over.
Really?
I think it's 2-0 Spurs. Yeah, first time they'll do it for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
I just think Villa, like I said, I just don't know who's scoring for them, man? Like it's wild.
Bailey had so many good chances.
Watkins looked good, didn't he? And actually, Watkins finished a couple of good chances. He was just offside.
Yeah. That
Watkins goal was great as well. To be fair,
I put into my WhatsApp group. Who's the best player to hang out with if it's raining? Can you work it out?
Watkins.
What's his first name?
Ollie Brell.
Brolly Watkins.
Oh my god.
I was immediately applauded in my WhatsApp group. It's supposed to be bad. Brolly Watkins. Write in if you've got any other suggestions for players you'd like to be with.
Lovely bit of biz.
If it's raining, I would suggest Brolly Watkins. Okay, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea. I think we have to go with another Chelsea win. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm really certain on that.
3-0.
Why have I given Nottingham Forest a goal?
Again? I don't know. They're at home, I suppose. What annoys me is they played like bloody gladiators against Liverpool and got that.
Yeah.
Win. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was Liverpool's fault. But then they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting to that stage of the season where teams with their backs against the wall. But I don't think every team's going to do that. So I've given my team this week that are going to pull it out of the bag third round FA Cup style as Leeds.
Okay, yeah. No, I like that. I like all of these shouts. This is good, man. Okay, I've got a couple of extra questions before you let you go. We've done 53 minutes.
Lovely stuff.
Now, Ali McCoist last night kept calling. Now, how do you pronounce Haaland?
Well, do you know his name's Holland?
Okay.
But everyone said Haaland, so he just kept it. Double A in Norwegian is an O.
Oh, yes. No, this is good. Yeah, I'd forgotten about this. His do know this.
Holland. Yeah.
Like Holland.
That is, but Holland. But I think he said in an interview, just call me Haaland.
Okay.
He's not going to go in every interview and go Holland.
Yeah.
Come up on it every time.
Well, it's like when people...
I think his name is Holland.
But would you say Holland? Because I've heard you say Haaland.
No, it's the same way that people go Chorizo when that. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck off.
Oh, is it?
They spicy sausage like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Come on. I'd say Haaland because and the same thing as Holland. If I said it that way, everyone would correct me, and it's annoying.
Well, McCoist was going Harland.
It's no. We love an R, but there's no R's. That is a Scottish thing, but it's not Haaland. Haaland.
Haaland. I'm going
Haaland. Holland.
What do you do again? Haaland.
Holland is what I would say.
No, but what have you been doing? You've been going Haaland.
Haaland.
You're like an American saying Holland.
Fuck, I've said it too many times.
Haaland.
What would you say?
Haaland.
Holland. Yeah, that is his name.
I don't know. Haaland. I'd go
but now
Haaland.
I feel like I'm putting the land in the wrong place. Haaland.
Now you sound like you're doing a bad Dutch accent.
No, I'm
Holland.
doing the Norwegian one. Haaland.
Erling
Erling Haaland.
Haaland.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Haaland. Right, well, I want to do it from now on the way it should be.
It's Haaland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
That is his name.
The debate rumbles on.
Well, it's not I mean, only in the UK can the man said that's my name, but just call me that. And only British people go, oh, well, what's his fucking name then?
Yeah. Stop swearing.
I've said F word a few times towards the end of this. Is that a problem?
Well, fuck off. Okay, right. Now, final one, little question. I saw this online. Do you think, right, because the captain choice is so easy every week, you have to go with Haaland? Haaland. You have to go with Haaland. Do you think that they should give the vice captain 1.5 times?
I would love that. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Would you like that?
I'd love that. I'd honestly love that.
I think that's a really good idea. Because then Salah would always get 1.5 your points.
I know, but then then maybe you'd be more inclined to take a little gamble on your vice. But then I suppose as well that there's the luck element of the game, which is not necessarily a bad thing, is so high as it is. If you're getting 1.5 and 2 on your multipliers on your captain and vice captain, you mean think about Salah and Holland at the minute.
I don't know.
If they both got multipliers on theirs, it pretty much negates half the bloody squad half the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see that because I think we've not had this for a while. I know Salah mostly last year was permanent.
But we make this mistake all the time. Yes, you've got an absolute perma-captain at the minute, which makes captaining boring. But at the start of the bloody year, everyone's going, oh, defenders are too cheap. You have to pick defenders. And now look what's happened. Like, something will happen that the captaincy will change around.
I hope so, because it's quite frustrating because it's hard to make big points. And there's not even a question about who to captain.
I mean, you not think there's a question next week?
Well, looking at the double game, all right then. Would you who are you going to captain next week?
Holland, obviously.
Are you?
Yeah, but I'll give Salah a thought.
Are you going to?
It's not.
What? So you're not going to captain a Chelsea player or a Fulham player next week? Sorry, I'm talking not this week.
18. Are you thinking you're talking 19?
For game week 19. So Chelsea
I'll
got a double.
Mount. I'll probably go Mount as well. Bloody got him in, yeah.
Not Mitrovic?
No, I just don't. No, I prefer Chelsea's games.
City got Chelsea away. Interesting. That's going to be... Who's Your Captain is finally going to be a half-decent episode and actually earn its title next week. Iain, you've been an absolute delight, mate.
You've been a delight, mate.
Thank you so much. We'll do some comedy chat once I go because it stays recording for a bit.
And I really hope my mic was loud enough this time. Did you put it up on the Zoom?
Huh?
Did you remember to do that this time round?
Huh?
You joke about it, but remember last time it was quiet.
It's very loud.
Okay, good.
It's lovely. Too loud, if anything. Annoying. Sort of like a grating in my ear. Right. Thank you very much, mate. I'm going to play the music, right? And then we'll carry on talking. A little thing we do. But we are on air.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, now I really can't hear because the music's too loud.
Well,
can you turn yourself up?
Well.
Turn yourself up.
I can't. I'm up full.
Oh, that's better. Shout.
I'm up full schlag.
I need to turn the music down.
I worry that no, but this is the problem. I worry if you can hear yourself in your headphones, but you can't. Oh my god, you can't end it on this.
I can. It's great. I saw you were high on the mixer.
Right. Okay. Good.
So that feels good.
Nice.
All right, man. I'll once the music's finished in 20 seconds, I'll stop the recording.
Right.
And then we'll have a debrief.
I can't imagine anyone got to the part.
They should do.
Should we say write in the comments? Write a word in the comments.
Yeah, if you listen to this, write in the like and subscribe.
But then don't just like and subscribe. You've literally got 3 people listening at this point. I'm saying you've got to give them a word, so the one person that's got this far.
It's still recording.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So say write a word in the comments, and then you'll know.
Write Grealish in the comments if you're still listening.
That's a great one.
Bye.